Yes, please. Thank you.
Amandla. Amandla. Viva EFF, viva. Haikule EFF, haikule. Haikule EFF, haikule. Amandla. Thank you very much, Deputy President Godrich Gadi, our chairperson, Comrade Dunga, our provincial secretary, Comrade Moshe, and the collective, and all the sub-regional leaders who are here, and the ground forces of the EFF who are here today. Comrades, let me greet our pastor and greet our brother as well, who spoke just before me, and greet all the elders who are here. Ore asele latle le na batho ba bagolo ka ore batho ba bagolo abatloke mo baneng ntle le lena there won't be guidance. Revolutionary greetings, fighters, and the courageous people of Sophiatown. It is with deep humility and pride and revolutionary commitment that I stand before you today in a place that carries the soul of a people who refuse to be broken. We are here today in Sophiatown, a land soaked in the resistance of those who were forcefully removed to make way for the apartheid regime. It is no coincidence that we gather here for Land Reclamation Day, because this place is the perfect symbol of everything we fight against and anything we are fighting to return. This is a sacred land, land where the bulldozers of white supremacy tore apart families, dreams, and dignity, land that was taken by force and must be returned with equal determination. Today, we raise our voices, not just for Sophiatown, but for all the land that was taken across this country from Eastern Cape to Limpopo, from Karoo to KwaZulu-Natal. We are here to reiterate the call that we must reclaim the land that was stolen from our ancestors. We are here to finish the work of those who were displaced, silenced, and buried. We are here to take the land back without fear, without apology, without compensation. We gathered here today to honor the sacred and the solemn duty, the duty of remembrance and resistance. This day, Land Reclamation Day, is not just a date in our calendar. It is a mirror that forces us to confront the long, bitter shadows of conquest that still hangs over our people. The 6th of April, 1652, fighters, is the year the European colonial project began on the southern tip of Africa. It is not the beginning of history. It is the beginning of dispossession. In that year, Jan van Riebeeck arrived at the Cape, sent by the Dutch East Indian Company. He did not come as a tourist. He did not come as a refugee. He came as an agent of European imperialism to secure land, labor, and resources to sustain the Dutch emperor's maritime trade. He came to build refreshment stations for ships traveling between Europe and Asia. But what started as a trading post quickly turned into a colony. Within years, the Dutch settlers were no longer just merchants. They were landowners, and not by negotiations or invitations, but through encroachment. They pushed the Khoi and the San people off their ancestral grazing land. They erected fences. They brought disease. They killed. They raped. they enslaved and dispossessed us of land. The Khoi and the San, amaXhosa, amaZulu, Basotho, and all indigenous nations suffered under this onslaught. Land was taken with violence, and where it was not seized by the gun, it was taken by fraudulent treaties, false promises, and forced removals. Then came the Britain in 1795, and again 1806. They did not come to liberate us. They came to colonize us further, to expand their empire and exploit the land's minerals and agricultural wealth. Under the British rule, we saw the brutal invasion of native reserves, pass laws, and the systematic engineering of racial capitalism. It is important to understand that the ideology that justified this violence. The colonizers believed they had a divine civilization duty, a white man's burden, to tame the so-called wild Africans. They called us primitive, lazy, and incapable of using land productively. But they forget that when they arrived here, they found us working the land. They did not teach us how to work the land. We have always, without fear, worked this land, and we have always had our own culture, and we have always had our own songs. We were human beings before the arrival of the colonizers. No colonizer must ever claim that they brought civilization to us. We are going to refuse that. Fighters, this lie built the 1913 Land Act, which reserved more than 90% of the land for white people. The people who were less than 10% were owning 90% of the land. This was made possible by the 1913 Land Act. Fighters, we must make sure that we teach the correct history so that our children get to appreciate that the struggle for land does not start in 1913. The struggle for land started from 1652, when they came and stole everything from us. They even stole the cattle. So when we said we want our land with the wealth of this land, we were in the main referring to our own cattle, goats and sheep that they stole from our parents. We want all of those things returned to the rightful owners. Comrades, economic freedom fighters is at the center and championing the struggle for the return of the land. We must never sleep on this duty. They so wish that we can forget the issue of the land. We will never forget the issue of the land, because this land belongs to us. We, as children of Africa, when we are born, they cut us from our mother, and they make sure that the umbilical cord is buried on the land. So when you say this land belongs to you, you are not lying. You've got a relationship with this land. You've got umbilical cord relationship with this land. The umbilical cord connected you with your mother. That's why you love your mother and you are sure she is your mother, because of that relationship that you had. She moved that relationship into the land. And therefore, when you fight for the land, you must never act confused. You must know that you belong here. This is your home. You don't have two passports. You don't have two homes. This is the only home you know. Fighters, this fight was starting. It was not started by us. A lot of fights were fought because our people were refusing with their land. One of those rebellions was Mbambata Rebellion in 1906. There is no nation in the whole of South Africa which has never engaged in a battle for land. You can go to Basotho, you can go to Amaxhosa, Amazulu, you can go to Bapedi, Bakhoshis, they all fought for the land. And because the land is not yet returned, we are duty bound to pick up the spear and continue the fight to reclaim that which belongs to us. Comrades, they must be reminded all the time that they are thieves, because anyone who steals is a thief. And when they say, I am not a thief, I did not steal anything, I was born after 1994, you must tell them, anyone in possession of a stolen goods is a criminal. Therefore, they are thieves too. If they don't want to continue with the legacy of their parents, they must return the stolen goods to the rightful owner, who will see whether will forgive them or not. Comrades, these people must know that as long as the land is still in the hands of the minorities, there will never be peace in South Africa. How can you have peace with people who are landless? Our people want land. Our people want dignity. Our people want to defeat poverty. Our people want to defeat crime. You can only do that when you have the land. Today, they say there are no white criminals. Why will they be white criminals? Because they've got everything. If you give us what they have, we will not be criminals. We are being forced to go and eat nyaupe because there are no recreational facilities in our township, in our villages. So we must make sure that we take this land back to the people of Sophia Town. They were removed here forcefully. Their pain, you can still touch it. And we must make sure that wherever Masekela is sleeping, Miriam Makeba is sleeping, they should be smiling from their graves, that their children are continuing with the fight that they have started. We are proud to join. We are proud to join those who came before us. Comrades, we need to identify every piece of land that belongs to us, and we need to start utilizing that piece of land for the benefits of everyone. We don't want this Expropriation Act that Ramaphosa signed in the current form, because that expropriation says they must be compensated. How do you give criminals money? If I find you with my stolen car, and when you have put Mac wheel on my car, you have tinted windows, no, bring my car, this is my car. You agree or no? I know it's your car, but I've put Mac wheel and tinted windows. It's not my problem. You go around decorating stolen goods. It's not my problem. It is your own problem. The people of District 6 are continuing to inspire us because they too lost their land. We want everybody who lost the land to know that their home is in the EFF, because EFF is the only one that is fighting genuinely for the land to be returned to the people of South Africa. Comrades, those people who are in Soweto, it is not by choice. They were moved from beautiful land and they went to dump them very far from industries and so on and so forth. We need to start relocating our people back into the industries, so that when you work in this firm, your home is not far. You walk home. Because today, those who work in Sandton and they are from Soweto, they wake up at 4 o'clock if they are going to make it at 8 o'clock. We cannot allow that to continue. It's inhuman. We want you not to go the opposite of Johannesburg. You must come this direction of Johannesburg, because that's where you belong. That's where they forcefully removed you. Comrades, we want you to spend your money on feeding your own children and feeding yourself. Not spending your money, all of it, on transport, because you stay far from where you work. You stay far from where you go for school. We don't want these sellouts who took the land, who took our country in 1994 and claimed that they will return the land. Till to date, they have not returned anything to us except stealing everything from us. That's what they know. Instead of delivering services to our people and return the land, what they know is to steal. All of them combined, there is no better person. Once a person says, I'm a member of the ANC, you must know, tsotsi. Ya tsotsi. How can you bana moto a peribu yellow? Ba ANC, utsvor tsotsi. Mpiani shiona. Ya utsama iutswa dilo tsa batho. Le ka bona ba peshe ngwana monyane skipper sa ANC. Pelu a we be botoko o rio ba moruta botsotsi se ngwana. Comrades, we want to make sure that when the EFF goes into government, it's not going to play. We expropriate farms, we give them to the farm workers. We don't want a farm worker removed from a farm. They are the ones who are working that farm. There is no white man who works the farm. It is black people who are driving tractors. It is black people who are harvesting. It is us who know how to work the land. And we require no white supervision when we go and work on the land. Let the farms be returned to the farm workers. Let all the farm workers be buried inside the farm. They must not be chased out of the farms because they don't know any other home except that farm. That's where they must be buried. And after burying them there, when their relatives want to visit them, they must be allowed to go and visit the graves of their loved ones because that is their land.